Hi everyone, I'm Riska Rahmawati. In this video, I would like to talk about how to be a good ESL teacher. To be an ESL and ESL teacher, there are several things that need to be considered. In this occasion, there are 10 essential things that need to be considered by ESL teacher. The first thing is communicate clearly. As an ESL teacher, we need to be able to communicate clearly with our students and how we convey our materials to the students. There are things that need to be pay attention while teaching the students. The first is speak with slow pace, because basically ESL and EFL teacher don't use English in their daily life, so they tend to need time to be able to understand what we speak. So we need to speak with slow pace to make them able to understand what we meant to be. And then the second, use easy words or vocabulary that can be understood by the students. It also helps us as a teacher to be understood by the students, and the material can be learned smoothly by the student. And then the third is avoid the use of slang words, because commonly slang words used in the informal term. And when we teach and learn foreign and second language, we basically learn the formal term first. So we need to avoid the use of slang words. And then the second is get them talking, or student-centered learning. So when we teach EFL or ESL students, we need to ask them to talking more, so they get used to the language they learn. Encourage the students to actively talking with the language they learn to make them get used with it. It also helps them to improve their confidence in the classroom during the learning process. There are several activities that can be given to the students, like asking questions, which is the students will answer our questions using the foreign or the second language, which is English. And then play some games. We can give them games that requires them to speak in front of the class. And then give them project-based learning. It is also the same. We can give a project activity like maybe role play and then storytelling activity that requires them to speak using English in front of the classroom. And then the last is discussion session. We can open discussion session with the students, or we can make some group of students that requires them to speak with their friends and then present their work in front of the classroom. And then the important things that need to be considered by the ESL teacher is classroom management. And then manage the class to build a comfort environment for the students and to avoid the chaos happen during the learning process. It is really important for us as an ESL teacher to be able to manage our classroom. So we can use like manage their chair and table, so they can sit with the other friends that they not close enough before. So after the learning activity, they can close with all the friends in the classroom. And then we can make rules and structured lesson that must be followed by the students. When the students break the rules, we can give them some punishment, so the class will be still managed. Then the next is build relationship. Getting closer to the students as a sign that we care with them. Greet them, ask their condition, and try to know them better will help us to get a good impression from the students. So basically, when we teach the students, we need to build good relationship with them, so they will comfortable during the learning process, and they will not afraid to interacting with us. And then the next is fun activities. Develop fun activities that suits their preference in learning. such as playing games, do role plays, and then give them team-based learning activity. It will enhance their engagement during the learning process. And then we can give some ice-breaking activities that can be used to build up the mood. When we see that the students started to get bored during the learning process, we can give some ice-breaking to build up the mood back. And then the next, as an EFL and ESL teacher, we need to well prepared in every lesson. Always prepare the lesson plans and materials that used for teaching activity. Prepare the backup plan for the inconvenient situation and learn it before being used to teach. So when we make a lesson plan for today activities or today learning process, we need to make the backup plans too that can be used when the inconvenient situation happen today. The students will be focused on the learning process or the lesson when the teacher has a clear procedure of teaching. When we use some media during the learning process, it will help the students to more focus on the learning activity, and they will understand easily what we convey during the learning process. And then as an ESL and EFL teacher, have various sources is really important to help us to teach English in the classroom, because we are not the English speaker or not native English speaker. So various resources is really important. Search for new ideas and concepts for teaching. So when we teach, we need to use some medias or method that new, so the students not get easily bored with the learning activity that same with the previous activity. So we need to create innovation in the learning process. And then the second is use topic that attract the students' attention. We can use a topic that suitable with their age. So it is will attract their attention more in the learning process. And then we can give new insights to the students through technology and society. Nowadays, technology has become an essential part in our life generally. So we can use technology in the learning process, like the example when we have difficulties to pronounce or speak some words that we don't know before, we can use online dictionary to help us show to the students how to pronounce it correctly. And then we can use the society as an example in the learning process. And then the next is understand the students' culture. Respect and understand your students' culture is really important because commonly as an EFL and ESL teacher, we meet multicultural students. They certainly have different culture and make sure to avoid cultural appropriation that can be done by us or by the students. So cultural appropriation is really bad to be done. So it is really important for us to understand our students' culture. So we will not make them mad because we don't respect their culture. We can also give them opportunity to present or share about their culture to their friends that have different culture with them. It will make them feel appreciated before we talk about their culture. Then we have storytelling. As an EFL or ESL teacher, we need to be a good storyteller. Be a storyteller. The best teachers are able to weave interesting stories into their classes. It could be from their own lives or fictional story. It is related to the listening skill, which is the first skill being learned by the students in the language learning process. So we need to learn how to be a good storyteller to convey our story, so the students will understand easily what we talk about, because they the first thing they learn when they learn new language is using listening skill. So it is really helpful for us, the teacher, to teach easily the students. And then the last thing we need to consider is enthusiasm. Keep the positive vibe as a teacher by having a good appearance, and then keep enthusiastic during the learning process and encourage the students to boost their engagement. So as a teacher, commonly we need to keep our mind or keep positive vibes during the learning process, so the students will follow our mood during the learning process. When we gloomy, like we look so sad in the classroom, so the students will also gloomy too. So it is not good to bring our mood in the class. Enthusiasm also can be interpreted as a passion to be a teacher. If we have passion on it, we will always be having an energy to teach the students happily and faithfully. So as a teacher, it is we need to have a passion to keep our mood good during the learning process. So it will not affect the students' mood too during the learning process, because it will make the outcome bad. So we need to keep our mood good during the learning process. So that's all about how to be a good ESL and EFL teacher. I hope it can also help you to build your mark as a ESL and EFL teacher. So sorry for all the mistakes. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.